Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today's video is Halloween related because Halloween is coming up. So I'm going to be decorating my pumpkin whilst also answering questions from my Instagram. And there's some juicy questions. I'm going to talk about Halloween stuff, but then also the last question is about my worst date horror story. And that's going to be super juicy, super embarrassing for me. So stay tuned for the last question, it's going to be great. I am in costume, not necessarily the costume I wanted to be in. I have got one purpose-bought costume, which is a cheerleader costume, but I couldn't find it anywhere, but that was my plan. So I did my hair and everything to be a cheerleader, and then I couldn't find the costume anywhere. So I am in fact sadness from inside out. I couldn't think of anything else. I used to wear this outfit in sixth form, and once somebody memed me into sadness, so I was like, hey, it's a ready-made costume, I'll just wear that. Also, I'm filming in my garage, so I had to have a warm costume on because it's freezing in here. The video is scary in itself because I hate my garage. It's terrifying. Should we get started on some fun topics to discuss? First of all, somebody asked what my favourite Halloween film is. It's definitely not going to be a horror because I once cried in the middle of Blockbuster because my friends were renting a horror movie, so wouldn't be me. What I used to watch on Halloween was Pinocchio and Snow White because I think they're terrifying, especially when he's becoming a donkey. That's really disturbing. That's what I used to watch if I wanted a bit of a fright. In terms of my actual favourite Halloween movie, I think, I've not seen it in years, but I think I quite like The Little Vampire. That's got good feels to it, you know? Oh, the washing machine's just come on. Sorry if you can hear that. Oh, now I've got this thing stuck in the middle. How do I get that out? Oh my god, how do I now get this out? Oh, there we go. Okay, it's gonna get gooey. Yeah, Little Vampire is probably my favourite Halloween film off the top of my head. The scariest film I've ever watched, I watched it by accident. I watched Shutter Island. Someone recommended it to me. It was absolutely haunting, terrifying. It's a full-blown horror. I can't even watch Coraline. I just said that if I wanted a thrill, I watched Pinocchio. So why someone recommended me Shutter Island? It was absolutely terrifying. And I kept thinking, oh, it's gonna be all right at the end. It's gonna be all right. It's not all right at the end. It gets worse. Oh, and they have rats in it, and that's my biggest fear. If you know the scene I'm talking about, you know how traumatized I was watching that. So yeah, that's the scariest film I've ever seen, and I will never watch it again. And it kept me up for about a week. It was absolutely terrifying, so wouldn't recommend. Something just moved on the floor. I hate the garage. Yes, that is me freaking out because I heard my own foot on the floor. Yeah. Imagine me watching Shutter Island. My favourite Halloween activities. I love a house party at Halloween. Why did my leg just go cold? I hate this. So when I was younger, we weren't really big celebrators of Halloween. We'd basically get dressed here, go to my auntie and uncle's house, stay there for a bit, and then we'd go to my nana and granddad's house and just sit and answer the door to trick-or-treaters, which was pretty fun. I mean, it was great. I enjoyed it. I think the first time I went trick-or-treating, I was 9. I went on my friend's estate trick-or-treating. That was exciting. Then I went again, I think, when I was 12 and again when I was 13. So that was all very fun. My cousin also, when we were a lot younger, used to throw some Halloween parties. There was only a few of us there, but that was always fun, dancing to the Monster Mash and things like that. One time we did a Halloween party at my house. It was me, my best friend, my brothers, and my cousin. I was really young, I was about 5, but we wrapped ourselves up in toilet paper to be mummies, so that's always exciting. Recently for Halloween, my favourite activity is of course a house party. I love a house party, but I'll talk you through the 3 past Halloweens because they're exciting. Halloween of year 13, and then I actually had school the next day because we were doing a school musical. So there was a Halloween party on Halloween, and then the 1st of November, why the teachers thought that was a good idea to put a dress rehearsal was a rehearsal for our school show. Yeah, we drank a bit too much, and then I stayed the night on my friend's floor because I lived really far away from school, so it was just easier to stay in Chester. But it was funny when we did that because after the party, one of my friends was like hanging out with her her friends in an abandoned car park. So they were all like doing crazy stuff, and me and my other friend who was staying at this girl's house were just sleeping on the floor of the car park waiting for her to be like done with her other friends, because we just wanted to go to bed. But it was fun. Going to school the next day, I just remember feeling very sick, and I felt like I was doing the walk of shame because I had like this really youthful backpack. It was like a backpack from when I was about 5. I had all my stuff in there, but my high heels from the night before didn't fit in it, so I was just carrying them. So when I left school that day on the bus home, I felt like I was doing the walk of shame, but I wasn't. I'd just been to school after a party. So Halloween in first year of uni, I think I went to Lloyd's. It was good. Dressed up as a cheerleader. I don't really remember. I don't think anything crazy happened. Halloween last year was definitely the wildest Halloween so far. I went to my friend's Halloween party. I got a little bit too drunk. I spent most of the night throwing up. Maybe had a whole bottle of Bacardi to myself, but we don't talk about that. And I was kind of lonely in the party, which is why I drank so much, which was a bit sad. And then my housemates walked me home, and on the way home they were like holding me up. By the way, I've been told this by other people. I don't necessarily remember the night, but on the way home they were holding me up, and I was like, you don't have to hold me up, and they were like, okay. And the minute they let go, I just fell into a bush. So that's great, thriving. And then when we got home, they put me to bed, and this is the worst part. I actually got out of bed, went out the front door, went round, because we were on a row of terraces, went round to the end terrace, round into their back garden. So our next door neighbours like opened their back door, and I was just in their back garden, and they were like, can we help you? And I was just crying. So that's really embarrassing. And then one of my housemates came and found me and was like, Megan, what are you doing? So that's really humiliating. And then my friend managed to get me to go to sleep by showing me pictures of Call the Midwife. And then I spent about 2 days throwing up, which is fabulous. Just don't drink a whole bottle of Bacardi, kids. If you're lonely at a party, make friends. Don't make friends with the alcohol, because you don't know what else to do. But also the next day I had a 9 AM, and I remember getting up for it, and I was very much still drunk. And I got up for this 9 AM, and I went into the living room, and I was like, what's happening? And my housemate was just like, please go back to bed, you're not going to your lecture. So I didn't go, but I did spend 2 days throwing up. And my parents were away in Hawaii, so I rang them looking for sympathy, and they were like, look at us on holiday. And I was like, I'm ill. So that's my wildest Halloween story. It's probably not that wild. Oh, favourite Halloween sweet? I hate Halloween sweets. Fun fact, I absolutely despise them. I think they're gross. Honestly, I think companies just use their out-of-date sweets and turn them into a shape. A Haribo Dodie could be delicious. They use the exact same ingredients in a Haribo bat for Halloween, and it would taste disgusting. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like Halloween sweets at all. We actually don't get trick-or-treaters at my house, which is a bit sad. We get two little kids from up the road, but they might be a bit old this year. Also, wait, no, trick-or-treating's not allowed this year, but yeah, so we don't really get trick-or-treaters here, which is why we used to go to my grandparents to do Halloween, because then they lived on an estate, so we could answer to all the trick-or-treaters, which was fun. This is so gooey and horrid. Oh, look at that. What am I doing for Halloween this year? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Stay safe this Halloween, guys. Ooh. What? Is Halloween my favourite holiday? Absolutely not. I didn't really even celebrate it. Sometimes I see people going to school in Halloween costumes. We never even did that, because I was always in Catholic school, so it just was never celebrated. Oh, my first ever Halloween was when I was about 2. At the caravan for Halloween, actually. We used to have a caravan. Apparently it was pouring with rain, and we went to one caravan because it was so rainy. We went to one caravan, and the caravan we went to, everybody said it was really good for trick-or-treating. So we went and we waited out in the rain. I mean, I was alright, I was in a buggy, but like everyone else was getting drenched. And I think there were about 5 of us, and the guy, we waited for like half an hour outside this guy's caravan in the pouring rain, and he gave us a singular marshmallow to share between the 5 of us. Not cool, dude. Because it's Halloween, should I talk about the scariest thing that's ever happened to me? Basically, I have made a video on it before, I think, but you probably haven't seen it. From the age of 9, rats have been my biggest fear. Up until I was 13, I couldn't even say the word. Literally, drop dead scared. Like, couldn't even go into pets, still can't even go into pets at home. Like, literally, terrifying things. And I used to be really scared that one would come up the toilet, but my mum was always like, don't be stupid. And then when I was 13, one morning we were having building work done on the house that intercepted the plumbing somehow. So one morning it was like 6 a.m. on a Monday morning, and I was getting ready for school, and I hear this like bubbly noise, and I look into the toilet and I think that there is a number 2 in the toilet, and I'm like, oh my god, disgusting, who's done that? And then it runs at me, the number 2 runs at me, and it's not a number 2, it's this rat in the toilet, and it was terrifying. I've never screamed so much in my life, and everyone else was fast asleep, and I'm just running around the house screaming at the top of my lungs. I was literally inconsolable. I was eventually calmed down and absolutely traumatized for life. That's definitely the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And then I went to school, and that day one of the teachers was even like, Megan, you're all right, you look a bit pale. And I was like, you don't know what I've been through this morning. It was terrifying. I think I'm finally over it though. I'm still absolutely terrified of rats, but it did allow me to say the word, because up until then I couldn't even say the word, but now I can say the word because I screamed it so much that morning. And that's why I'm scared of being in the garage, because you never know what's around. That's a fun thing that happened to me. Have I got any ghost stories? I'm terrified of ghosts, so I'm not going to scare you, don't worry. Because I know what it's like when someone tells you a ghost story and then you don't sleep for weeks and they think they told you this lovely story, but actually they ruined you for life. I don't even want to talk about it. I'll keep myself up at night, so no ghost stories, sorry. Now we're going to carve the face. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. That is everything to do with Halloween spoken about, I think. Now I'm going to do a different kind of horror story, which was actually highly requested. I think it's because when I put on the Instagram, let me know any topics you want me to cover, I said like it can be uni related, relationship related, all this kind of stuff, but I think that gave people the false impression that I am, this is really menacing, sorry. I think saying to people that they could ask me about relationships gave people the false hope that I was in a relationship. I hate to break it to you, I'm not. Yeah, I kind of misled people with that one because all the suggestions were relationship stuff. I'm not in a relationship, but someone did actually ask a very interesting question, which was my worst date horror story. Or was it dating story times? I can't remember, but we're going to talk a bit about dating in Durham. Basically, I just use Tinder. I am a dater, but I'm not in any relationships. So yeah, whilst I'm in Durham, I just use Tinder and I just go on dates. It's never really led anywhere. But I do have a funny dating story time. I wouldn't do a story time if it was like about the other person being weird. It's a story time where I was a bit, or it's just the worst date it was awful. What's the point in having embarrassing moments in our lives if we can't use them to entertain other people? It was last year, it was during Vlogmas actually, so I think I actually vlogged getting ready for the date. I can't remember if I did, but I think I did. So I went on this date with this boy. I think we'd already been on one date before. This was the second date. So we just went for drinks and stuff, and then afterwards he came to stay at mine, literally just sleeping, nothing else, literally just staying the night like a sleepover. It's only the second date, so I was like, yeah, we can watch a film and then you can stay the night, and everything was fine. It was around Christmas time, so I think we watched like The Christmas Prince or something, and it was a terrible film, and then we just went to sleep. I then woke up at like 4 in the morning and my heart was beating really fast, and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be sick. So I run upstairs, literally I remember like clambering up the stairs. He's still fast asleep. I was like clambering up the stairs and I wasn't sick. My heart was beating so fast, so I went to the toilet instead, and then I stood up from the toilet when I was finished, and oh, this is so embarrassing. I don't know why I'm telling this to the internet, but someone asked for my worst date story time and this is it, so that's why I'm telling the internet. Please don't judge me. Yeah, so I went to the toilet, I stood up when I was finished in the toilet, and my heart was still beating really fast, and I closed my eyes and I heard this really loud bang, and it was actually me. I had fallen on the ground, so I opened my eyes and I was on the ground, and I was like, oh my god, I just fainted off the toilet, which is really glamorous, and it was really embarrassing, and I was just lying on the floor and I was like, can I even stand up? Like, I don't even know what's going on, I've just fainted. I've literally full on collapsed, and the bang was really loud, so I'm surprised no one woke up. Guess I don't know how long I was out for, but I was out for a bit, and then I managed to get up, went back downstairs to bed again, and I was like, I think I'm dying, but I can't tell him because he's fast asleep and it's really rude to kick someone out at 4 in the morning. So I just tried to go back to sleep, and then about 6 7 a.m. I felt really ill again, and I didn't want to tell him that I was ill because I know some people get like scared of other people being ill, so he might think I'm gonna give it to him, or if he did get ill in the following days he might think it's because of me. So I didn't want to tell him, but then at like 6-7 a.m. I felt really ill again. Well, I hadn't stopped feeling ill, but I was like shaking like a leaf, and I was really felt awful. I couldn't stand up without passing out, so I was really scared. And so I woke him up, the poor guy, at like 7 a.m. and was like, I'm sorry, you have to leave, I'm not well. The poor guy. And he was like, oh, okay, sorry. And I was like, yeah, you're just gonna have to go. And I can't even remember if I even said goodbye or if I just went straight to bed, because I just wanted my own bed and to just wallow in self-pity because I was so ill. And then he got an Uber and left, and I felt really bad because that's, I mean, usually when you stay the night at someone else's on a date, you don't usually expect to be kicked out at 7 a.m, but that's what I did. And then we didn't see each other again, except we did because he actually was friends with one of my housemates, so he did come round again, and that was awkward, but like, I mean, I wouldn't want to date someone that had fainted and kicked me out at 7 a.m, so it's fine. So I basically then stayed in bed that day, but then I went out again that night on a night out, but I was not myself. I vlogged it, but I was still kind of ill. You can tell in the vlog I look rough. And then didn't sleep at all that night, and then the next day I went to the doctor's, then went home, and like home because I was so shaken up from this whole episode and I still didn't feel better. So I went home, but then I did go see a cardiologist later in the year, and I just have a faster heartbeat than usual, which is probably what caused it. So that's great, but it did mean that I didn't have anything contagious, so that's also great. That's my worst date story time. Probably not the worst date I've ever been on, but like worst date because of me, because I'm not gonna like drop someone else in it. That was really embarrassing. Find someone else that's fainted on the toilet mid-date. Get them to hit me up, because I'm sure we'd be the perfect match for each other. But I didn't tell him that. I've now told the internet that, but I didn't tell him that was what happened. I was just like, I can't stop shaking, you have to go. I'd be so freaked if I was him. It was so weird, and it's such an excuse, isn't it? I couldn't even wave him goodbye because I was so ill. Yeah, that's my dating horror story. And now I think my pumpkin is complete. Can you see him? I don't know if you can see him. So there's my pumpkin. Oh, he's so cute. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. Do you know what? I thought I was so creative when I was like 16, because I would make a pumpkin and then I would put the pumpkin gunk coming out of its mouth to make it look like it was being sick. And now I just think that's rank. It's a bit rancid. Like, when you've got a cute little guy like this, you don't want to put sick coming out of his mouth, so we'll leave him be. And I think that's the end of my video. I'm going to give a quick pan over him with a light on inside, but I need to clean up first, and I need to go eat my lunch because I'm hungry. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it was kind of a mix, because a few weeks ago I posted on my Instagram, do people prefer vlogs or sit down videos, or was it uni videos or normal videos? I can't remember, but it was kind of like a mixed response. So I feel like this video was good because it's got like the entertaining stuff that I think people that aren't here for the uni stuff like, but it's also got a few uni bits and bobs added in, and it's also kind of vloggy because I'm doing something fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall see you in my next video. What should we call him? Arthur. I think that's cute. We'll call him Arthur. So yeah, bye.